I'd love him more than anything, but the fact that he was an alcoholic, I didn't really want to live with him. Just me and my mom was fine.
Callum was a year old, and I was taking him, I hadn't seen George in a week, and I was taking Callum to the doctor for his checkup. And I'm driving down the street in San Jose. It's raining, it's a really dreary, miserable day. And in the middle of the street, the two yellow lines, there's this creature walking towards me, soaking wet, miserable, just huddled over like this, like a homeless person. And I realized it was my husband. And then I looked at my son and I thought, I can't do this anymore. I can't look after two babies. So the big one has to go. So he did. I said to him, you have to go. And I sent him home to England. I stayed in America. But God bless George, he comes home to England, he's here for a week, he meets Miss World, and they fall madly in love. And I'm sitting in California going, only he could do this. Only George.
The Miss World George Best fell for and wooed was Swedish blonde Mary Stavin. As in the past, the course of true love was not smooth. The tabloids had a feast. At the age of 37, the man many regarded as the greatest soccer player there had ever been joined Bournemouth. He was a spent force in all but his own imagining. What he hadn't lost was the ability to talk a good game.
I've had my problems with Orthofield, personal problems, but they seem to be behind me. You know, it's like a day-to-day thing.
In 1984, a year after his comeback, George Best entered the darkest period of his life. After failing to turn up for a court appearance for drink driving, he assaulted a policeman and then jumped bail.
George Best's appeal against his prison sentence has been rejected. He'll spend Christmas behind bars. He was appealing against the severity of the sentence, 12 weeks for driving with excess alcohol, assaulting a police officer and jumping bail.
This was the moment George Best was forced to confront reality, to look at himself and speak frankly of what he saw. It was the first time anyone had seen him looking frightened. He was to spend 7 weeks in prison. When he was released, he declared with great conviction he had given up the bottle. There were not many who believed him.
All my problems have been drink-related, and if I can stay off that, there's no reason. I'm very, very busy still. I mean, and I'm fed up reading this rubbish about me being a fallen idol, as if I'm lying in the gutter and I don't work. I earn more today than any other footballer in England.
Now, the last time you were on here, you'd just come out of the old calaboose.
Prison, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did that experience, do you feel, do you any good?
No, it's not nice to be in prison.
No.
What are you laughing at?
Alcoholism is a disease. It's not something he does to upset us all. It's not something he does on purpose to annoy the media or the world or his family or friends.
Terry, I like screwing, all right?
Oh, all right. So what do you do with your time these days?
Screw.
I see. Ladies and gentlemen, George Best.
You know, in his heart, he's a child. He ends up feeling like a naughty boy all the time, you know, after anything he's ever done wrong. And the major things that have gone wrong, as in the Wogan show, and a couple of other things, have hurt him very badly. To the extent that, to this day, George hasn't seen the Wogan show. I do have it on tape, but he always refused to see it. He doesn't want to know.
To any other person in the world, that would have spelt total disaster and the end of a career. To George Best, it relaunched him. Because every time that we've been together since then, doing different things with, you know, chat shows or whatever we've done, when he tells the Terry Wogan story, everybody loves it.
It seemed for a time George would marry Mary Shatila. Typically, he did the unexpected and married 23-year-old Alex Percy.
He makes an absolutely fantastic husband. He's brilliant, and he's, you know, what I could ask for. He's generous, he's kind, he's really loving.
I met Alex, and she seemed a bit young. She should have married me instead of my dad, but she Well, at first I thought she was just in the picture because my dad was so famous and had money and she was just there to get it. But then I got to know her last time I was out there, and now that they're married, she's a really sweet girl.
Alex is a doll. She's a sweet thing, and she looks after him, which is what we've all done. And Mary looked after him. And he always picks good women, long-suffering women.
George goes through stages. If things in his life aren't happy, he'll turn to the bottle. It will always be a problem. It's always there. As people say, it is a disease. I just hope, really, that he's learnt to curb it now. I think he knows more about it. I think he knows really how to handle it.
Call me irresponsible. Call me unreliable. Go on and throw in undependable too.
I have to say honestly, I'm proud of George and pleased about his ability and the pleasure he gave to people in his particular field. Just sad about the fact that it didn't go on longer.
I don't know what that charm is. He's George. What can I tell you? And I will always love him, and he will always have a special place in my heart. And I do forgive him, as we all do, but I don't know why.
In the end, George Best deserves better than to be celebrated as a man who appeared on television made foolish by drink. For all he pursued the life of a boozer and philanderer, he was, first and foremost, a great athlete and a marvellous entertainer. Anyone who saw him play will remember that above all else.
What a goal to score, and who could score it but George Best? With the skill, the timing, the confidence to take it on and on and on until the net was bare.
Ooh, go on and call me. Yeah! Irresponsible. Yes, I'm unreliable. But it's undeniably